Well, hello everyone, hello. In my previous episode, you may recall I was grumbling about the lack of SPO functionality over here, which of course stands for scaling, polarization, and offset. I've got a little bit more of that in this case over here, but only 2 channels of it over here. And I was saying that I needed more because the octal poly is 4 channels, so if I was to run this at full capacity, there's not enough of this to tailor, for example, the outputs from vector space and tweak them into the voltage range that would be appropriate for a VCA. So anyway, I got this doodad. It was very affordable too. It's the TipTop Audio Miso, which is another acronym for mix, invert, scale, and offset. And the top half and the bottom half are identical. The top half is inputs 1 and 2, and the bottom half is inputs A and B. But the way it works, there's an input, there's an output, and you have an attenuator here in the center, which you can dial to set the volume or the amplitude of your signal either positive, or on the negative side it inverts the signal. And then there's also an offset knob which you can use to apply either a positive or a negative DC offset to the signal, and then the results of that processing are available at the output. And in between them each there is a mix output, which is those 2 signals mixed together. The cool thing about this is that the mix is available whether you have anything plugged into the individual channel outs or not. A lot of modules use like a hard switch normalization, where if you patch into the output, that takes it out of the mix, but not the case here. And then in the center is this sigma output, which is the sum of the 1 and 2 mix and the A and B mix. So all 4 channels combined here, and you have a balance control that will fade from the top half to the bottom half of the module, and this is CV controllable, so you have a crossfader there in the middle. I look forward to using that later on, because up until now my only crossfade has been mutable warps, and that's like the wimpiest use of warps because it can do other much more fascinating things. So that frees up warps for vocoding and basic dirtification and mingling of signals. Anyway, what's going on with this patch? Once again, what we've been listening to is Folktech Conduit. This module just gets more interesting every time. Grids is controlling it. This is channel 2, this is channel 3. Channel 1 is T-Kick, which I'm sending through passive attenuation and into the input. Folktech seems to prefer using a passive attenuator. I tried attenuating T-Kick using the SPO, but for some reason, like using a powered module to do that, it made the signal really noisy, and it was blasting, overdriving the Folktech no matter how low I set it. But the passive attenuator, no problem. Anyway, firing these 2 onboard Vactrols to send its internal oscillations through my homemade resist module and into the input. Now that is going into microburst, and the envelope follower output is controlling position on microburst, and grid's accent is triggering microburst. And I have microburst pitch set up high, so those triggers are more like little high-pitched clicks rather than echoes. Now, the mix output of the A143-1, I'm tailoring in the Miso and using that to affect the time CV, which in this case is controlling the pitch of the harmonic oscillators. And then the envelope number 4, I'm using to control the filter, and I wanted this behavior where the filter is open and then closes when the envelope fires, but the envelope is positive voltage only. So what I had to do was invert to make it be a negative envelope, and then apply a DC offset to bring it back up to a value where it would hold the filter open and then duck it closed when the envelope fires. But listen to that. It's like this crazy lo-fi. I could listen to that for a while, but of course it needs things. And so I've got plats with pretty much every parameter being randomly controlled. I have the DCO receiving pitch CV from tonic and being, let's see, yeah, it's being fired by a random branches gate through the Mengshi passive low pass gate over here. And then of course E950 will talk to us. Insane. Anyway, I hope you found that as interesting as I did. I'm having a blast, and I have to thank my patrons because they made it possible. The address for my Patreon as well as my Bandcamp I'm putting on the screen, and they're also in the description, so if you want to check them out you can. And we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching.